Hi guys, welcome to the channel tonight as we're back in my favourite aircraft, the one that I do feel comfortable in, which is the 737-800 Zibo. And we're going to be testing it with the Vulkan with the X-Plane 11.50, and the results are quite impressive. I mean, right now we're sitting here in the ground, and I'm going to show the frames as well, and we get into the cockpit. We've got no reshade at the moment because I can't get it to work, but I'm going to figure that out later on this today, as this is being recorded in the morning, ready for you guys tonight when we fly out. So we're going to be flying from our airport is going to be, we're going from Paderborn and we're going to Heathrow. So we're going to be departing from runway 06, we're going to be landing for runway 09 right, as that's what's going on with the real-time weather. So we're going to get that all sorted, and hopefully we should see some even better performance today with the Zibo. We haven't got no scenery or anything. This is one of the Aerosofts, so what we'll do is, once I find out the reshade, I'm going to download some more orthos today, so they would have probably already been downloaded by the time you guys would have been seeing this video right now. So it should be all good. So what we can do is, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and leave your comments down below, and let's welcome a new sim to the channel with the new API, which is Vulkan. So let's go into the cockpit and start her up. So we're in the 737 ZiboMod now, and what we can do is we can go ahead and get the aircraft all ready for our departure. So we're going to the overhead now. Got our battery, which is guarded, standby power on, and ground power is on. So we'll change the buzzes to bat and ground power. Once we've done that, we can then go ahead and align the IRS. We'll turn our panels on. We've got our emergency lights to arm. We'll turn our chimes on with the seatbelts to auto. After that, we'll go ahead and put the APU on, and we'll activate the one pump. We'll go and test our window heat, put all four of them on. Then turn our electrics with our trim air. We've got our packs on. We'll turn the APU bleed on as well. Also, going for a flight level of 240 and a landing altitude of 75. So I'll just leave that as 50, turn our collision on, and now we're going to the FMC and get the aircraft all configured, ready for our departure. Okay, so now we're in the FMC, we'll go ahead and do our panel lights, and as you can see, things are a lot different without reshade. This is just a normal sim right now that we're running. So we'll go into our FMC, and we'll go ahead and set up our positioning. So the positioning for the airport, we have Echo Delta Lima Papa. Shove that in there. Echo Lima Delta Papa. We're going to Heathrow Airport. Going to be departing runway 06. And we're taking the Hammer X XX-ray, which is nice and clean. And then we'll go into our route. So we're going to take the Lima 602, which is then going to take us to Rebly, or Relby. And then from Relby, we're going to take the same Lima 602 to Flevo. Then we're going to take the Lima 980, which will take us to Logan. And then we can do is go into our departure. So we're going to be arriving for runway 09 right, and the star, we want the Biggin 1 Echo, and we want 09 right, and we're going to transition for Biggin, so then that will give us our right turn to intercept for runway 09 right. So we go ahead and activate that. Next on our list that I want to do is I want to set up the ATIS, so we can get that all started. So we'll go ahead and stick that in there. We'll wait for that to come. So we're going to our perf. Got a reserves of 1. Cost index today is going to be 64. Got a flight level, I'm going to do a flight level of 300, and we'll change that on the overhead, as I want to get up a little higher today. So 5,000 transition, do our climb rate, which is going to be max. Find out about the cell soon to find some software to give me the cell data. So we'll go for a, let's see what Flaps 5 is saying. Flaps 5, 141, yes, fine. Okay, so we've got 150 for V2. That's fine, just turn that off. And we'll go for 300. Okay, that's all set, so we go ahead and put the flight directors on, arm the auto throttle, and switch over to the APU gen, which is all nice and good. The yaw damper can come on now because we've got the IRS, and everything on this overhead panel is all set. You know, it's very quick and easy to go, so you know, not much to it. Let's have a look at my frames with Vulkan. With Vulkan now, it's nearly 70 frames there. In Heathrow was getting over 60, band 63. So you know, Vulkan has allowed me to have the sim over 60 frames now all the time. So that's really good. That I'm happy about. So let's go ahead and get our airport information. So QNH is 1026. Okay, 1026. 1026, which is checked. Our wind is 120 at 09. So 120-09. And if we go back, get our center of gravity, I'm going to put that in manually, 22.7. Okay, verify takeoff speeds, they're all fine. And the cost index was 5.19. So let's go ahead and do that. There you go. That'll do. Okay, so all we can do now is we can get rid of all of our ground equipment. So we'll turn off the DPU, the ASU, and we'll retract our stairs, and now we'll call the tug ready to push back.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Okay, so we're all ready to go.
Ground to cockpit. Toes driving up.
Thank you very much. Okay, so tug's now driving up, so should be all good. Okay, so what we can do is we'll turn on all of our pumps now, get them all ready. Electrics are on, the packs can go off, and we're all ready to go. Temperature's 10 degrees.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Okay, parking brake is set.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
Thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and start engine number 2. Okay, so whilst we wait for the tug to figure out what he's going to do, let's go and start engine number 1.
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
Okay, and parking brake. Okay, so the tug's going to leave us now, and we can go ahead and do some flying. Okay, so engine number 1 will flick back over, which is fine. So we'll switch over now to the Gen 1. We'll turn our electrics for number 1 on, put the isolation valve to auto, turn the packs on, the APU bleed off with the APU.
I'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Yeah, thanks very much. So, like I said, we've switched over the buses of the APU gens, switched over to APU gen, turn the packs back on, the isolation valve to auto, the APU bleeds off with the APU, and we are all ready to go. So put a logo on with our taxi, ding in the cabin, turn on fasten seatbelts, and now we can get ready to vacate. One thing that we will do is we'll do our systems check. So we've got a full left, full right, full forward, full backward, and we've got rudder left and rudder right. So now we'll go and do our flap setting of flaps 5. Okay, so we've dropped our flaps 5. Now for our taxis it is going to be basically we're going to go up Delta and follow from Alpha onto Delta and then turn left right at Delta, hold 406. So we're all set to go now, everything's all good. Let's reset our views. There we go. So let's release the parking brake and we'll pedal on up to 06. Sim does seem a lot smoother. Let's have a look, see what frames we've got. Okay, so we're just taxiing now down Delta. Should be a nice arrival in today. So okay, so it's above 10, so we'll turn our anti-ice off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to swing a right here on to Delta. Vulkan seems really nice. I was in Heathrow Airport, was getting around 63 to 65 frames, which was quite nice to see, as Heathrow frames wasn't all that, which is why I didn't really fly in there too tough, to be honest with you, because you know I like quality, I like things to run smooth. I don't like all the stuttering. It just doesn't work for me. So Heathrow was quite a high frame impactor. But it's a big airport, you know, it's very dense with lots of things, so you know it's not surprising. But Vulkan has completely opened that up now. You know, I'm very happy with the Vulkan. It's given me a lot of frames to make the sim a lot better. So right now we are using Vulkan. We're using the X-Plane 11.5. So no reshade. We're just running standard today, as reshade doesn't want to work. But it's a simple fix that I'll try and fix after. Once we've done this flight. So here we are now at the Delta hold. Frames they do fluctuate. I tested out the 747. That was giving me 45 frames. I tested that out. Now we'll just stop here as we join onto the runway. So we'll turn on our strobes. We can turn our wing, wheel well, runway turn-offs, and landing lights, and now we'll go ahead and power onto the runway. So yeah, I was saying just before I'd done this flight, basically spawned the 747-8 into Luton Airport, even though it wouldn't fly from there. And outside wing view, the frames were like nearly 100, and inside the cockpit it was around 65 frames from the 45 we had. I've seen about a 20 frame increase. And just remember, different airports you go to are going to be either more packed with textures, or they're going to be pretty empty, and that will depend on your frames. So we're going to take a trip to London Heathrow today. You're going to see the sim looks a lot different without reshade, so you can see exactly what reshade does for the sim. But this is all about Vulkan on this flight, so just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So the aircraft's there now. We'll reset our view, we'll go over, we'll put the LNAV and the VNAV, which is on. Auto brake is to RTO. So we'll go ahead and we'll start the clock and we'll go to Toga straight for a blast out. I'll give the passengers something to hold on for. So a little bit of wind to the left, you can feel it coming in. Airspeed alive.
80 knots.
Check. Throttle hold.
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Okay, so we're just following the flight director out now.
400.
Feels nice to be back in the 737. So 400 checked. Just follow the flight director a bit down now as we get ready for that left turn.
1000.
Check. So there we are now. We'll keep up with our speed. Keep the aircraft nice and stable now as we come out. So we'll hit a flaps 2. As we're just waiting to make that left turn now as we leave the lovely runway. So I'm just going to stay on course. We're back for the runway heading. There we go. Okay, so flaps 1. Turn out auto brake off. And now we go for a flaps up. As we make our way to 230 to the flaps fully retract, and then we'll go to 25. Okay, so make that left turn now, back around the airport. Holding it nice and stable now with the flight director, and this is what I mean with the physics of this 737. You know, the Zibo's physics are so good. You know, compared to the 747, the FlightFactor 777 as well. I mean, the physics, I can hold this aircraft here directly on the flight director. We're just creeping near 250, and the aircraft is nice and stable to hold it with the inputs from the joystick. So I mean, you can't really complain. With the 747 and 777s, the physics are just a little bit beyond. So we'll go ahead and stick our QNHs to standard. Now this is where I always overspeed because we're always looking over to the other side, and then as we come back around we'll then level off to come back onto our LNAV, trim down just a little, there we go, just a little bit more, and now the aircraft is nice and stable. So just passing through 6,500 feet now, just minor corrections. I do like the 737, I can't, it's just the physics. The physics is what does it for me all day long. Once you understand this aircraft, you'll understand how it works and how much leeway you have with it. So, you know, it's one of them nice aircrafts to fly. It's very stable, and if, like they say, if you have respect for it, it'll have respect for you. You know. So it's passing 8,003, just slowly leveling back on for the LNAV profile. 247, dropping those a little bit to increase up to 250, and then now 9,000. The 247 will start to creep back to 25, and then we'll hold that there. There we go. So we'll just hold it there for the 25, and now as we're getting ready to pass 10,000, what we'll do is we will turn the autopilot on, so the aircraft now has full control. Okay, so passing through 10,000 now, we'll turn our landing lights off, runway turn-offs can go off, and our taxis. Our turn will well off as well.
do recommend for your comfort and safety that you keep your seatbelt securely fastened throughout your flight. There is a call bell, reading light and fresh air vent in the panel just above your head, and we'd like to remind you that this is a strictly non-smoking flight and all toilets are fitted with smoke detectors. We invite you to sit back, relax and enjoy your flight with us.
Okay, so you heard cabin crew, sit back and enjoy the flight with us. So if I take us down now onto our route, I'll show you exactly what's going to go on. Like, everything is a lot more smoother, like just rolling it around everywhere, so a lot more smoother, not even really any tearing or of such, so that's really good to see. So what we'll do is we'll go into our plan and we'll zoom in so we can see exactly what's going to happen. So we're going to go through Hotel Mike, then we'll go through Redbury to Brelby, and then we'll go all the way down past Pam and Aircross for Vaco, and then once we basically get to the top of our descent, we're going to come through at Det, and then we'll transition off for Biggin Hill, which will then, like I said at the start, give us that right turn intercept for the ILS. So it's fairly straightforward, should be a nice arrival in. And with that said and done now, guys, we can go ahead and do our takeoff cinematics. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you guys when we get back for our top of descent. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Hi guys, so right now we are just making our top of descent as we get ready to come down into London Heathrow on the ILS for runway 09 right. As you can see right here, there's our top of descent as we're getting ready to pass through Copal. Got some turbulent areas, so it's going to be a rocky one in today. Should make way for a great arrival in. It's going to be very rocky. We haven't got no reshade in because obviously it's not working properly with the Vulkan, but I think I've just got to move some folders around. So right now, as you can see, we're going into our top of descent. The aircraft's pitched down. Going down is about 1500 to 2000 bank down, and then the aircraft will slowly rise back up to catch profile. Once it gets to 290, as you see now, the aircraft will start lifting itself up. If you look at the vertical speed on the side next to the altitude, so now we're just stabling. So right now we're coming down through 280 as we get ready to come into London. Now yeah, there's no reshade in here because the Vulkan doesn't want to work the Vulkan right now. So gonna have a fiddle around. This would have been filmed in the morning time, so by the time you guys are seeing it now, would have got ready to get the reshade in. So we're coming down now, ready for London Heathrow. Going to intercept the ILS 2,500 feet, and then from there what we're going to do is we're going to come down on the 091 degree course, and we'll set our minimums as well for the ILS, and we can get our ATIS. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and get our ATIS for London Heathrow. So we'll send that off, go ahead and do our descent checklist. So engine start switches can go to continuous. We'll tell the cabin now that we are going to start our arrival down into London, ready to go. And as you can see, there is our arrival coming in. We check our legs, 240 now we need to be, so we can go ahead and change that now. That will lower our descent rate as well. So we'll open up the speed brakes now, slow the aircraft down. As you see, it's quite bumpy as we come in. So slowing down now to 240, and then the aircraft will follow its speed restrictions. So start switches are continuous, and we'll set our landing lights under 10,000 feet. So we're going to transition at Biggin. I'm taking the Biggin 1 Echo. Once made that right turn, we'll then intercept for the ILS at 2,500 feet on the 091. So we'll go ahead and have a look on our approach. So 10950 at 90 degrees. I'll put it at 091 as that's what's on the charts. And we'll go for a flaps 30, 149. I think we've got some gusts, I'm not sure. So 130 at 08. And QNH of 1015. So go ahead and put our 1015 into the QNH, and we'll do the first officers as well. There we go, 1015, which is set. What we can also do is go and put our ILS frequency into the aircraft as well, which is 10950. So 10950. We'll just keep them armed for now. And 10950. And we can also set the 091 course, which is set. Okay, so 091 course is set on both sides. And on our speed restrictions below 250 at 174, that's fine. We'll reach that, so everything's all good. The auto brake can go to number 2. Actually, you know what, we'll just leave it at number 1. Should be all right. As Heathrow's runways are long, and we're only in the 737 today, not the 74. So we'll let the speed brakes back in now, as the aircraft will pick its own speed up. So we'll go ahead and set the minimums now for our arrival, which is 280. Okay, 280. Whoops. And 280, which is set. Turn on our weather as well. As the aircraft is a little unsettled with this weather going on. So now what we can do is we can do our approach checklist. So our altimeter setting, which is armed for a 1015, and they are cross-checked on both sides. After that, we've got our ILS course frequency, which is a 109.50 for a 091 course for runway 09 right. After that, we've got our VCARD approach speed ref, which is a flaps 30 for a 149 plus 5. We'll put a plus 6, which will give us a 155. So, speed brakes are armed. After that, we've got our minimums, which is set for 280, a 200-foot decision. And we will intercept the ILS at 2,500 feet. So, everything is all set, taxi lights and everything will go on after we get to under 10,000 feet. And transition altitude is 6,000. So at 6,000 we will lock the QNHs back to Heathrow's and then get ready to come in. So, as you can see, it's quite bumpy. Got quite a bit of wind, but it should make do. We've got some gusts too. So yeah, this is the Vulkan, guys. Probably not going to see much, as obviously the reshade's been taken out, so it's going to look a bit horrible, but performance-wise, it's very nice. The 747's really benefited from it. We was getting 45 frames when we did our 2 flights last night, and that was with the Open GL because I hadn't switched to Vulkan. And coming in with the Vulkan, tested out the 747 today, and it was getting like 65 frames. Outside was like 118 frames, and on a wing view it was like around 70 frames. So Vulkan has definitely improved the system 100%. So just a slight little overspeed on our 240 as we check our speeds on our rank. So below 220 now. And that's when we will decel. As you can see, there's the decel. We'll leave the weather off for now just so you can see. That's where we're going to decel just before we get to our next fix. Now the weather today, I generated the real-time weather, but just then set it back to manual and pretty much added some of the effects of the weather, like the wind and rain. I added that in to basically test out the Vulkan and see how smooth it is when we come into Heathrow with bad weather as well. So as you can see, the aircraft's just swaying around as the wind direction's changing backwards and forwards. So we're not too far away now, just around under 20 miles away before we get set to do our right turn. If we have a look, we'll go for once we get to the Biggin 29, which is going to be our next fix after Biggin 26, so that'll be where we approach for our right turn. We need to be at 219 and then we'll drop to 190 for our flaps 5. So what we'll do now is we will activate the ILSs for Heathrow. Coming down now through 11,000 feet, just going down into 10. So what we'll do now is we'll turn our landing lights on, our runway turn offs, our taxi lights can go on, whoops, and our wheel well. So okay, so we are right now ready to come. The ILSs are set, 109.5. We've got the 091 which we're following from the charts, we're not taking the FMC 090. And we've got our barrows, which is 280 for a 200 decision height. Open the speed brakes just a little. As you can see, we're going to decel right as we approach. What's the weather looking like? So there is a little horrible patch right when we get onto final that we're going to have to go through, but I'll be flying the aircraft manually by then, so should make do for a really nice arrival today. So just coming through now through 9,000, getting ready to pass our decel point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the throttles and the joystick over now, so we can get ready for our arrival. So one last flick through on the approach checklist. We've got our altimeter setting, which is a 1015, transition off at 6,000. What we'll do is we'll put them over now, which are cross-checked for the 1015. After that we've got our altitude for our approach, which is 2,500 when we intercept on the 091 degree course. VCAR's approach speed rev, which is flat 30 at 149, and we've got a +6 on our knots for our speed, so that will give us a 155, and taxi lights are auto, and we're getting ready for our flaps. So we'll just set the view one last time as we now get ready to come down into London Heathrow Airport. So cabin crew, prepare for landing. Okay, so there's our decel. We'll open the speed brakes. Just get us up. Okay. So we're still waiting for the ILS of 10950. I think what we will do is we will set the aircraft up for the auto land, which means our radios will have to be at 100. Okay, so there's one radio. And there's our other radio. The ILS is now on, so what we'll do is we'll start sending down and we'll turn the VOR lock on. So this is what will happen if you turn it on a little bit too early. So we'll just use our heading to basically get us down. back on course, and then we'll reflick the VOR lock when it comes over, because it went over to the left and it quickly flicked to the right. It actually activated the VOR lock, so we'll just activate the heading and set the course to come back round. And that should intercept us again once the VOR lock goes over to the left. As we come down to our 2000. So there's the VOR properly this time, so we can activate that. So what I'm going to do is, because we can under 250, I'm going to start lowering our flaps. I'll push our flaps 5 out to get the aircraft to slow down. Got the VOR lock ready to intercept, so that's going to come to life now. Not too worried about the flaps, as speed brakes just ain't helping, and as you say, we can't have the speed brakes and the flaps open at the same time. So we'll slow down now. And then we'll wait for the glide slope magenta diamond, where we'll then press the approach, and then we will fix in
2500
our autopilots to then set up and initiate the auto land. So the aircraft's now coming down. It'll realign itself for the approach. Okay. So this is going to be that rocky weather. If we look, we are going to hit it very soon, as we're just going into it. So, if we have a look, there's the approach, and we'll wait for the single channel and we'll lock them both in. Okay, so there we are. The runway's inside, so we disconnect. Now we'll start following her down. There we go. Okay, so we'll keep the glide path on now. As it is a little bit rocky. We'll stay up for our 156. Still keeping for our 156 now, and try to keep them on the glide slope. Flaps 30, everything's all set. So keeping us stable now on the glide slope as we come down. Try not to lose our speed, as it is a horrible one tonight. But these are the ones that make the great approaches. So just keeping it nice and stable as we try and stay on for the glide path. Okay, so keeping it nice and stable, just keeping to the glide slope, trying not to lose it. Okay, a little bit of rudder. Extend the set off the landing gear. little low. Just wait for the bits to come back.
300. 200. Approaching minimums. 100 minimums.
Continue.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, so there we are. Speed brakes are up and reversers are active. Check. Reversers can go in, manual braking. And there we are, guys. Turn the auto brakes off, release on the brakes, and we can let the speed brake back in. So there we are, down in Heathrow Airport. Nice and safe. That was a rocky one, but it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. So now we're going to vacate the runway. And welcome to Heathrow Airport. So we'll start dropping our flaps up now as we exit the runway onto the taxiway. Don't know why the Ryanair came, but don't know, there seems to be a problem with that. So right now it's time for our landing cinematics, guys. So what we can do is we can... Okay, so now it's time for our landing cinematics, guys, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all when we get back for our taxi, and then we'll do our wing viewing for our arrival. So I'll see you all in a minute. there we are guys, down in Heathrow Airport for our flight of the night. Hope you enjoyed the flight guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe, as let me know in the comments what you think of the Vulkan, as obviously we couldn't use the reshade tonight, but we got a lot more smoother definitely. So don't forget to like and subscribe guys, and I'll see you all next time for the next flight. So the IRS says bye bye as well, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care for now, bye bye.
Thousand feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
$400. $300. $200. $100. 50, 40, 30, 10.
1,000. Minimums 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
$80 knots.